Is you ready?
Yeah.
Is you ready? You ain't really about it if you ain't prepared to die. Talking about loyalty, but you ain't ready to ride. Get your mind right, he coming like a thief in the night. Is you ready? Is you ready? Is you ready? You ain't really about it if you ain't prepared to die. Talking about loyalty, but you ain't ready to ride. Get your mind right, he coming like a thief in the night. Is you ready? Is you ready?
Laughing at your idol gods, looking like some Digimons. Babylon won't carry on, this dragon getting mini bombs. You can call me Daniel, son, you know I serve the living God. Yours is made of brass.
This class, I ain't even really got no real topic for it yet. It'll be on the thumbnail though. But it was based off of a conversation that I had with some of the brothers one night. We was talking about Book of Clarence, you know, and just thinking about that and thinking about myself, you know, how transitioning in this truth and growing in this truth, you know, from conception or entering or from hearing a video to sitting in a seat and then being someone that helps to guide other people in this same walk. Like it was a real like thinking experience. Like, how do you get here? How did I get here? You know, maybe somebody else got to take this same path that I got to take. Maybe somebody having the same thoughts that I have or that I had in this same journey. So it was a two-title situation. I didn't know which one to go with, and maybe y'all will pick for me. But the first title was, is your book like Clarence's or a crooked thing straight? Because, you know, we all start out, we crooked. You know, we in the midst of all kind of everything, you know, from one end of the spectrum to the other one, from pimps and hoes to liars and murderers, thieves and crooks, and, you know, everything in between, you know, doubters and fearful and, you know, unlearned. You know, we have so many things in us, but we rarely, or I don't say we rarely, I never examined those things in myself before I got here because I didn't know to examine them. I didn't know what I had to look at those things. I didn't know those things was important because before I got here, it was just love the Lord with all your heart. Have faith in Jesus and you saved. And watching the Book of Clarence, it made me think about, like, damn, at one point, I was like this man. Now, was I walking around pretending to be the Messiah? No. But did I really believe that Jesus was real? You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear the stories. I heard the testimony of the old lady at the church. You know, your mama telling you a story of how one night she heard the Lord speaking to her and told her to get up. And you were like, this ain't never told me to get up and go buy nothing. You know, but it was a lot of those things. So I was just like, dang it, what was I like this guy? Like, I wanted to believe in Jesus. I wanted to. But I also knew, I'm like, nigga, I got stuff I need to do. I got to get some money too. I got to take care of my kids. And at the same time, I want to have fun. I want to do, the little fun stuff of the world seemed like it was, wasn't no barrier from me not doing it. Wasn't nobody saying, hey, only thing they said, don't kill nobody. You can do everything except kill somebody or rape somebody. Like, that was the only two that you like, well, I don't do that, so I'm good. Anyway, 2 Timothy, who reading for me? Shalom, soldier. 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 16 and 17.
Mic test. 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 15.
16, 17.
16, excuse me. All scripture is given by inspiration of God
Mm-hmm.
and is profitable for doctrine
Mm-hmm.
and for reproof, for correction, instruction in righteousness.
It's always the same thing for me. Like, for me, foundational scripture has to be, because this is the only way that we're going to ever learn how to actually follow Christ through the words of God. It ain't through your mama. It ain't through some inspirational Instagram quote. You're not going to find it there. You're not going to learn how to do it there. You understand? Because this walk is not only about knowing what God said, it's also about being able to perform what he says. You know, the instruction in righteousness. You know, that's the wisdom and the knowledge of it. You know what I'm saying? But we also have to learn how to do it. We have to learn how to be corrected when we don't do it right. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that we saw in that movie, or the same thing that we experience on a daily. You don't do it right first. You first get here, you might not have your fringes on right. Somebody help you. Or you wearing the little teetsies, the little fold joints, the little, you know, whatever it is. Or you dig into your bed. Or sister come with their head wrapped halfway back here because they want to show their little funny little gel swirls on the front of their face. And then a sister come and a sister in the security have to tell them, sis, you need to pull that head wrap. And some of them get a little attitude. Oh, those sisters, you're just like Clarence. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Brother tell you, hey, bro, that haircut kind of low. But I kept the guard on there. I did it with a one guard. Like, but that head look. But from here to there, it don't look like he got. If I gotta come and get up on your head and try to scratch it with my finger to feel a little roughness of hair, but you bald. You bald. But I'm just saying that to just say it's instructions in righteousness. Read on.
Verse 17, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished.
Right, so we could get right. So we could go from a crooked thing to a straight thing. You know what I'm saying? So you could go from a bad line up to a good line. That crispy, you know what I'm saying, corners on the edge, they're perfect. Don't nobody want no squiggly line up. You want a nice one. You know, we trying to go from a bad thing, a crooked thing, to a straight thing. We trying to be like Clarence. We trying to go from we say I'm not a loser to somebody that Christ himself comes and say, you know what, but you did all right. You all right with me. I mean, bro, that's a hell of a leap. That's a hell of a leap to go from, and I mean, if you ain't seen the movie, too bad. So sad. You should have watched it already. It's a hell of a thing to go from, you know, liars and thieves to Christ himself says, you know what? Get up. You good. Can these dry bones yet live? Like, man, I'm dead out here. I'm walking around aimless, and my seat just dropping lower and lower, but it's all right. But to experience something like that and to be able to go, we need those instructions in righteousness that we could be perfect. All right. Anyway, Revelations 20 and 12. That's where at least where we want to go. You know, like that's the goal. The goal is to not be the same as when we got here. Like if you're not changed after getting here, even if it's just a little bit when you first get here, like it's a thing to come to these when you first come into the congregation from out there, whether you was watching 10 years, 3 months, 2 weeks. You know, we all have a certain amount of I gotta get there. But then when you get there and you get here, rather, something immediately changes. If it don't, you might want to check yourself. Like if you get here and you got an attitude when you get here, or you feel a way when you get here, oh, you ain't had to do all that. You come in here, well, look, I'm just here because my mama. If you just came here because your mama made you come and you older than 17 and you got an attitude, you feel like I'm sinking. you might want to reevaluate why you here. You might want to really say, look, Mom, that might not be for me right now. I'm not into that. Because I know when I got here, for me, I felt like a sucker for not being able to wear fringes every day. To me, that was a big deal. From listening and watching videos every day. Now, you feel like you know something. You done been sitting watching video. You go out and dust your damn Bible off. You like, ooh, let me get the one out the car. That one been sitting in the back window on damn John 3:16 for 4 years. You riding around with it on the scripture. I was in an accident and my Bible flew to the front of the car. Guess what page it landed on? Yeah, y'all done heard them stories. But, you know what I'm saying? So you dust it off and you start to read and you start to look at some things and you be like, what is this book really about? Do I really know what's going on? Anyway, Revelation 20 and 12.
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 20, verse 12.
Read.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open.
So this is the end. This is the end of everything. And those books were open. Bro, it's somebody right now. It's an angel right now recording your life. Recording everything that you've done. Everything that you're doing. And it's there. It's all there. So what you want that book to say when it's opened at the end? What do you want to be annotated about you? What do you want the Most High to read out? What do you want Christ to read? Can you imagine Christ reading your book out loud? And it's the small, great, and dead, and they all just standing in a line and they reading your book out loud? You be like, this one right here, this Carmela. Okay, let's see, 1981. Okay, all right, he came out 1981. 1997. Ooh. Had a good year in 1997. You was full of sin. You know, you just get to reading out all of these things that you did. Teenage years and 20 years old and 30 years old. And how your head gonna feel? Is your head gonna be hanging down like, yeah, thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Or is your head gonna be held up proud? Yeah. I've been in the truth since I was 17. Yeah. Been a soldier since I was 20. Yeah. International. Yeah. Teach my people. Or is your book gonna be full of? Yeah, it was a lot of dope in 1999, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't crack, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Read again.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works.
He said, you're going to be judged out of the books according to your works. What God said to do versus what you did. That's a hell of a thing to really think about. Like, bro, what? So we have to begin to think about all of our actions. From reading that and knowing that, like, okay, now I have to think about my actions. I have to think about how I'm going to move because I do not want this read out loud. It's like somebody reading your diary. If I see little girls used to write diaries. I don't know too many men that write them, but I'm pretty sure it's a male out there who writing down his most interpersonal thoughts on a piece of paper or a little book somewhere. If somebody got that book and just started reading that joint, just, you know what I'm saying? And that's your interpersonal stuff, you will probably feel away, especially if it's not stuff that you proud of. That's how I feel about when I think about it. That's why I had to ask, like, dang, am I like Clarence? Like if somebody had to read or write a book about what I did and what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like. All right, Titus 3, verse 3. You're going to be judged out of what you did. But we all start off jacked up because we all come out of a jacked up situation. You know what I'm saying? Captivity was hell, and shout out to the foreparents, and which, at a later date, you'll find out was probably you for getting us here, being disobedient in the first place, right? But then some people that's just, God, the basis of men. Put it like that. These niggas just do any and everything out here. So we come in somewhat at a disadvantage, all right? A little bit of a disadvantage, because the majority of our people don't know Christ. They don't know God. So you're not taught God. You have nothing of it. And it's just like in the movie. Could you imagine you've been running around Jerusalem doing all this, and Christ, he the same age as you. He just pop up on the scene and he doing miracles and stuff. Like, how would you think? How do you, like, we like to think and say, oh yeah, I would have did it, but everybody didn't follow. We like to think, and a lot of us probably would have, because we still here. We here now following. So Lord will that we was those spirits that heard it then and followed. But you gotta think, that's a whole new thing. Nobody had never seen that before. What your mind go to? Is that real? Now you're gonna probably want to go see. And guess what? You be just like that guy in the movie. He had to go see, but he was like, surely this is a trick. Why? Because people in Jerusalem was already doing it. We had witches and warlocks and people who could speak the dead, and you seeing devils and people rolling and falling on the floor. And what is it really? What's really going on? Right? Anyway, Titus 3:3.
Titus chapter 3, verse 3.
Read.
For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures.
That's what I'm saying. At one time, we was all just like that. We was all, whether chasing money, chasing girls, chasing fame, chasing men, you know what I'm saying, chasing popularity. We was all doing that, deceived, thinking that the things that we were doing, the way that we was being, was okay with God. We really thought that, because at the end of it, we would say, what? I believe in Jesus. I used to say that smoking reefer at one point in my life. Say, the Bible say, trust in the Lord with all your heart and he'll direct your path, as I'm smoking a God. I'm like, how did I think that was the right thing to be doing? Because we was once deceived. Read it again.
For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish.
So we was all at one time crazy like that. And guess what? For me, it's a little bit therapeutic to be able to say, yeah, I did it, because I get it out. And it's not nothing that I'm holding inside of me, and I'm not telling nobody else. I'm just saying, for me, to be able to say, at one point, that was the thoughts that I had. But now, through the word of God and being here amongst brothers that show me correction, show me how to handle certain things of manhood that I missed out on, because I knew my daddy, but my daddy was gone too. He was kind of back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I see him, I don't see him. I see him, I don't see him. You see what I'm saying? But it was still a lot of things that I had to learn. How to treat my children, how to treat my wife. Oh, it's a whole lot of things that I didn't know, because, as the scripture said, we are all one time foolish. Read.
Disobedient, deceived.
We was disobedient to God, and we was deceived about who he is and what he wants. We was misled about what we were supposed to be doing, how we supposed to carry ourselves. Read.
Serving diverse lusts and pleasures.
Chasing any and everything. We was out here chasing any and everything. And if you sit back and think about it long enough, you'll see, yeah, you'll just bob your head like, yeah, I was. But guess what? We ain't got to be that no more, all right? Galatians chapter 6, verse 1.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
So from that point of knowing that, okay, I used to be jacked up. So now I'm beginning to clean myself up. we have to always consider this. Because the first thing a lot of us do when we get here, what would you do? You start calling everybody around you wicked. You wicked as hell. You the damn devil. You wicked as hell. You the damn devil. You start treating your mama and your sisters bad, your brother. You the damn devil. But we was all one time foolish. But the Lord just said, you have to consider those other people. Now, this is your brother, and this is somebody that's a believer. But do we still have that mind that immediately once you get here, now you're so much, you ain't shit, and you ain't shit, and your mom ain't shit, and nigga, you suck, and nigga, you don't never wear no fringes, dumb man. Like, we be like that. I was like that. I had friends I was friends with for 15, 20 years. I ain't seen them in 8. I ain't seen them in 9, going on 10 years. I've been here since 2015. It's 9 years I've been here. I ain't seen them. But my immediately thought was, all y'all niggas wicked. Why? Because I went to show them this, and they was like, Brown, you the damn devil. You the damn devil. You the damn devil. You ain't But that was me. I ain't saying none of y'all good people did that, but I'm saying that was me. I had to check myself on that. Read.
Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
Read.
For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
That part. That part. That's the part that hit for me. When you walk around and you thinking that you are just so grand and you so mighty. Now, granted, the scripture do say the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but are you righteous yet? You just learning. You ain't even got to the school to know what righteousness actually is. But he said, when you walk around and you thinking that you're something, you deceive yourself. You deceive yourself walking around being big-headed. You deceive yourself being prideful. You deceive yourself being high-minded and boastful. That, because guess what? We do it to brothers and sisters in here. You be they right in here with us. And you walk around boastful. Brother bugged the hell out. Brother bugged out. Brother, what you mean? You bugged out. You got some stuff you working on. Now, am I saying if you see evil, you don't point out evil? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to walk around in your mind, deceiving yourself, thinking that you are above reproach. You're so righteous because you finally, I wear my dresses every day. Okay, all praises. You should. But the scripture just said, read it again, verse 3.
Verse 3, for if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
Read on.
But let every man prove his own work.
Do what?
Let every man prove his own work.
So guess what? You got to answer for how you moving. You got to make sure the work that you're doing is substantial. You got to make sure that what you're doing is the right thing, because you're going to be judged at the end, read out your book, what you did. Read on.
And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another.
Right. So you can be proud of what you doing without having to look down on somebody else for what they ain't doing. Yeah. You prove your own work. Yes. I study. I'm glad that I study. Oh, that brother weak as hell. He can't study. He don't read. He don't know the scripts. Like, dang, cuz, fall back. Now, am I saying that you don't encourage your brother? You should. Like, hey, bro, I mean, I seen you know what so and so was. You know what I'm saying? If you want to study a little bit, I can help you out. Or sis, you're a little hippie. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could go somewhere and so, we don't want you to stand out so much with let's work on that. But to sit there and be on some, glad that ain't me coming in here in modest. Golly. Glad I ain't the nigga that can't read. Read from your diaphragm, brother, not your throat, weak ass reading. But I laugh, but that's how some brothers be. And guess what? They don't always last either. because they get so puffed up in themselves that when it comes time for them to be corrected on their work, they can't take what they dished out, because that's what he said in the beginning. You have to consider that person, lest you be tempted the same way. Now you so puffed up, you ready to pounce and correct everybody else, but when it's your time to get corrected, now you can't take it. Now you want to walk around puffed with your face balled up and all twist up. You know what I'm saying? You give brother a halfway shalom and you leave soon as the classroom, soon as the bishop class over with. I gotta go to work. You gotta go to work tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon. You ain't gotta go nowhere right now. But you couldn't take the same thing that you dished out. Read verse 1 again.
Verse 1, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted.
He said, thinking about yourself when you dealing with your brother and your sisters in here. Like, man, I was kind of like that when I first got here. I ain't gonna just tell the brother you wear that same shirt every Sabbath. Like, bro, I got some little extra fringes around here, man. Shoot, just take it to a sister. I got you. I got you on the $12. I got you on the $6 for the fringe up shirt. Ain't that? Yeah, boy, because you look good on them fringes. Make sure you got you a couple of shirts. No, you don't want to do that. You want to sit around and giggle and laugh. Look at it. You don't wear that same shirt. Brother, you ain't got no more shirts at home, brother? Look at this brother fringes. Damn, cuz you. Remember, you was all one time foolish. We all didn't know what to do. We all may not. You don't know what somebody's status is financially. That might be all he could do to get here and be lawful. But you're not considering yourself. Lest the Lord tempt you in the same way. Lest you be tempted the same way. All right? So we have to think about that stuff. Because guess what? We going from a jacked up situation to a better situation. And it just so happened the jacked up come first. That's that crackhead logic. Jacked up come before right. Like, yeah, because you're going to be jacked up first. You know what? Makes sense. I got it. All right. But you have to answer for yourself. You have to answer for your own actions. Right? And in this truth, this is one thing that we all have to really strive to do. We really have to answer for ourselves. We really have to think about what we've done, and then when it's time to. Anyway, Genesis. Go to Genesis chapter 3. Let's look at somebody who didn't quite take account of their actions. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 10.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 10.
Read.
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked.
Okay,
and
hold on. That's one of these young. What was happening right here? What was happening before we got to this verse right here? What's your name, brother? Dante, you know what was happening before we got to this? What was happening in the history right here? Genesis 3?
Yes. So you said, yes. So repeat that.
What was happening? Well, we started reading that at Genesis 3 and 10. What had just happened?
Oh, they had just sinned.
Read verse 10 again.
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked.
So Adam had just sinned, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you knew what was going on.
Oh, yes.
All right, that's all I want to know.
Okay.
Adam had just sinned. Read.
And I hid myself.
And
he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee thou shouldest not eat?
Read.
And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
This is where we have to start remembering how our walk is. Nobody else can do this for you. Nobody else got any say-so in what you do. Because remember, like we're going back to the beginning, what you did is going to be written. Adam, first thing he did was, I got scared, and then he did what? He blamed somebody else for what he did. This is one of those steps that in the beginning of our walk, we have to really dig deep to take that accountability for how we move. For how you move inside of this building and how you move outside of this building as well. You're never going to be able to go to Christ and be like, I did it because I needed a job. Okay, so you worked every Sabbath because you needed a job. You never did nothing. It was FedEx's fault. They wouldn't let me get the Sabbath off. Okay. So the Lord going, you know what, FedEx, you was dead wrong for that. Nah. You did it. You continued to work. You didn't take no chances to better yourself. You didn't do nothing it took to get, whether it's a piece of paper or some training or whatever, so that you could put yourself in a better position to be able to serve the Lord properly. No, you want to blame somebody else. Oh, the brother didn't come pick me up, so I ain't come to Sabbath. Oh, sister, I didn't have no gas. And you have to be responsible for how you move. You have to be responsible for the thoughts and the things that you're doing. You have to be the one that takes accountability for your movements in your transition from crooked to straight. For what's going to be read in your book. You have to do that. Can't nobody do it for you. Can't nobody do it. Hold on, let me see something. Go back to Galatians chapter 6. Read verse 5.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden.
That part. In this walk, when you changing, every man has to bear his own burden. You got to be accountable for your own actions. You the one gotta answer for that sin. Or you the one get to rejoice in your righteousness. Remember, he said you could rejoice in you after you prove your works, you could rejoice in that. So you either rejoice in your righteousness or you bear that sin, that burden of that sin. It's up to you, but you don't get to pawn and put that off on nobody else. You don't get the hand and, oh, my kids, oh, my wife, my wife, she just be pleased to dwell, bro. She got doggone just cook a sandwich in the morning. But yeah, that's you. You didn't check that. You know what I'm saying? It's on you. All right. Back to Genesis 3.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 13. And the Lord God said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done?
Jump back up to 12.
Verse 12. And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
She gave it to me. Like he ain't know the rules already. That's you. You ain't know the rules of the Sabbath already. You knew it once you came here. You knew what the rules was. You the one went against it. Find you a way to sneak around it. You the one went against the rules of adultery. Try to find you a way to sneak around it. You the one went against the rules of murmuring and backbiting and gossiping. Try to sneak your way around it. Well, I wasn't really talking about nobody. I just was talking about the situation. Okay, well, then the scriptures say, don't go up and down as a talebearer. How about that? How about that? So you have to be accountable for those actions. Because remember, we on a route. We going from a crooked thing to a straight thing. Anyway, Ezekiel 14, verse 14.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness.
So the Lord just told him, he said, there was some hard names to stand up to. Noah, Daniel, and Job. Bro, them some hard men. Them was men that the Lord found righteous above a lot of men on it. Bro, all three of them, they got called perfect. Noah got saved from the flood. Daniel got saved from dang on furnace. Job, his whole family decimated, and the Lord gave it all back to him. He said, though they was in this world, they was faced against the same thing you was faced against. They had the opportunity to lie. They had the opportunity to be crooked. They had the opportunity to steal. You know, they had the opportunity to be lascivious, whoremongers, whores. They didn't do it, though. They didn't do it. These are the examples. Somebody had to not do it. Now, even though they all had whatever faults that they had, you know, it is what it is. Read it again.
Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it,
Read.
they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness.
By their righteousness. By them following the commandments of the Lord. That's how they deliver their soul. And guess what? That's how you deliver your soul. That's how you do it. Give me Deuteronomy 6:25.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
So if they was only saved by their righteousness, and righteousness is doing the commandments, then this is how you save yourself. You do God's commandments. But first thing you got to do is learn them. You got to learn what to do, because you have to examine yourself. You have to examine yourself and see where you at. You have to examine yourself and take a real look at. And sometimes it ain't easy. Give me that and examine yourself. Sometimes it's not easy, because sometimes we don't even know that it's there. Sometimes it hides itself from us. Some of the sin that we in, it hides itself from you. Why? Because it's sneaky. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't know that you're fearful. You just think that I'm a very good planner. No, you're scared. You're afraid. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? I'm just counting the calls. No, you're afraid. And it don't look like what you think it look like. You think fear supposed to look like trembling about to pee on yourself. But if you was actually not planning so hard, you probably would be trembling, ready to pee on yourself if you really had to stand up against that thing that you was set out to do. You'd be like Jonah. Jonah ain't want no parts of it. Jonah was like, but I don't want nothing to do with none of it. I'm out of here. I'm running. I'm bailing. I'm gone. Lord say, nah, I got something for that. I come get you. You know what I'm saying? You got it?
Yes, sir.
Read.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
Read.
Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith.
This is for me, 2 Timothy 3, and this I don't know nothing else that you can actively do in this truth to better yourself outside of examining yourself first. You have to examine the way from anything from the way you speak. Like I tell the brothers all the time, especially if they're in here in MOV, I'm working on the appropriate words. But that's something that I have to examine all the time, because I was used to talking a certain way before I got here. And guess what? I have to constantly be mindful of those words. I have to constantly be mindful of those things. Or I used to carry myself a certain way when I first got here. And guess what? I can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the way that I am with everybody. I can't. Why? Because now I'm a man that holds rank in the army of God in Israel United in Christ. I can't move as a person with no responsibilities. You know what? And I have to be mindful that I have responsibilities. I can't come in and sleep like I want to because I feel like it. I have to be like, dang, I have to put that thing away. Because I had a spirit where I want to do what I want to do. Nobody gets to tell me what to do. I'm grown. I do what I want to do. If I'm sleepy, I'm sleepy. You deal with it when I get up. I can't be that no more. I can't think like that anymore. Because there's people in the body that depend on me to be up and handling certain things. The same way Deacon, he say it all the time. When we get up in the morning to do Patient Saints Radio, there are people that get up and they're depending on you to be there. So guess what? I can't have a mind of I do what I want to do. I can't have that spirit anymore. I can't have that way of thinking of I get to it when I get to it. I lived like that in the world for a long time, and it got me a lot of things that I wanted because I felt like I was making my own path. You can't tell me I make my own money. I make my money like this. I take care of my bills like this. But I had to examine myself when I got here, and I realized, dang, I can't even. Why I got to get up at 8 o'clock to be here? Ain't nobody else got to be up at 8 o'clock. Why I got to be up at 8 o'clock? The hell is this? I had to examine and say, damn, brother, that's a selfish spirit. It's a selfish and a slothful spirit. But guess what? It looked like confidence. Do what I want to do. No, you slothful. You slothful, and you can't take guidance from somebody else. You can't be a servant when you only thinking about what you want to do and on your time. You understand what I'm saying? So, and if you saw the movie, that was the kind of person Clarence was. Do whatever he got to do to get him $1. I'm going to kick it. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to chill. I'm going to walk with my partner. I ain't getting into all that other stuff with y'all. The mama said, go find a trade. Go do something. Learn something to do something. I'm good on that. Y'all go run around and do all that. I got my little whatever what I sell. My little church. Keep going down. Excuse me, y'all. But that's the kind of thing that we have to do and examine ourselves and learning what the righteousness of God is to learn to keep his commandments. You have to learn what they are before you can do it. And then once you find out what they are, you have to examine yourself and look at you and say, dang, am I doing that? Am I moving that way? Does the way I carry myself, does it, you know what I'm saying, is it exemplary of what Christ tell us to do? Is it exemplary of what the leadership around us moving and how they moving and getting things done? Am I walking in those steps? Luke 1:6. And like constantly examining and seeing, where am I? What am I doing? Am I improving? You know what I'm saying? Did my study habits get any better? Heck, even if it's something as simple as a brother in MOV, was I being slothful, and did I learn the actual the commands in marching, or do I go home, come the next week, and keep making the same mistakes over and over? Do I put any effort into learning how to do this for real? You have to examine yourself and look and say, dang, what am I doing? Am I a sister? Am I doing any better with getting to be more personable? Well, you know, I usually don't have women friends, so you just ain't gonna talk to no sisters now. You gonna sit in here every week, don't nobody know your name. I ain't gonna put no bricks in no offices. I mean, ain't nobody ask me to do nothing. Cause they working. Who got time to ask you to work when we working? But it's little things like that we have to think about. Luke 1:6.
Luke chapter 1 verse 6. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless.
That's That's how we got to start trying to move. To be righteous before God is walking before his walking in his commandments and ordinances blameless. That's how you're going to have to start moving. Now, are you going to be always blameless 100% at first? No. Like I said, I didn't even start coming to the school consistently. I would come every other week, once a month, twice a month, because I didn't wear fringes every day. I would wear fringes, I had like 1 or 2 shirts, and I'm like, I'm not wearing the same stank-ass shirt every day. Because guess what? I wasn't converted yet. Sometimes I don't think I'm converted now, but I'm trying. But at that point, it was, I felt like I would have been being phony coming here knowing I only wore fringes on the Sabbath, and then coming in pretending as if I wear them every day. So that's what it is. Ain't nobody never walked to the door like, nah, I only put these on today. Somebody say, man, those some nice fringes. Oh, man, this little thing, oh, man, this ain't nothing but a little ribbon of blue, little fringes, a little something, a little law. You don't do that. You don't come in and say, nah, I just put this on today. I don't even wear it every other day. I only wear it to come here. You don't do that. But that's what I was doing. And in my mind, I felt like if I came here with them on and I smiled and I shalom in brother's face, knowing during the week, because now that I know and I don't do it, I'm in the midst of sin, right or wrong. I'm in the midst of sin. So I felt like a phony. I felt like I was, and then and the crazy part was I wasn't able to stop some of the other sin that I was in until I was able to start doing that. Something small. The least commandments, like what Christ said. The least commandments was the one that helped me to overcome some of the other ones that I was dealing with. I ain't never knew that. When I read through the Leviticus, and I was like, oh, okay, I got it. You put the fringes on and you look upon them, numbers. They're like, okay, I did that. I didn't even realize that it really worked. You get ready to sin and you put your hand on them fringes and grab them and say a prayer and see what happens. You are way more likely to not do that thing than you are to do it. I don't know. That's why I say, man, y'all sisters might want to get y'all a little shawl or something with it up high. But you ain't got to reach all the way down to your foot when you're about to sin. Like, hey, I got something right close around my waist where I could, you know what? She said, tie it around your head like a phylactery. Like they on a frontlets. Got the commandments. Jesus, I can't see. They dangling when I drive, but at least I ain't in sin. You know what I'm saying? But for real, it was like it wasn't until I was able to do that consistently that I was even strong enough to battle some of the other things. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a step up in the level of faith that, okay, he say do this. Am I gonna do it or am I gonna be okay? One Sabbath I go, the other Sabbath I sit in the house and play the PlayStation. I mean, I watch class, but when I came in, class didn't come on till like 5 o'clock. You couldn't even come into school till 3 because you couldn't come in till after camp. Y'all got it good. Y'all can get away from sin all day if you want to. I'm out in the morning. You got a whole day that unless you got up at like 6 and just did some evil. It then came to the school. You're like, you got all day where you could duck the evil because you're not home by yourself. When I came, you couldn't come in till 3 o'clock. And then captains and deacon would do a local class, and then bishop would come on, and that was it. You know what I did on the weekends that I didn't come because I ain't had no fringes? Play the game, watch class. Soon as class go over, bloop. Because guess what? I didn't know brothers was staying here till 12 or 1, however long that they be here. After bishop class, you think that, once the class over, that's it. Because you used to church. sermon go off, the preacher say, pass the plate or sing the song or whatever, and you gone home. You hug that one little old lady you sit on that same row with every week, and you go home. Sisters laugh, brothers don't know. They ain't hug nobody. They just was there with their wife. They was like, the game finna come on. It's already 1:15. Trying to see what these fags are trying to do, what these boys on Northside Drive talk about. And you go home. You didn't think that it was so much more going on, and you had so much more time to improve yourself and build yourself in circles with brothers and circles with sisters to learn and apply and glean more wisdom. Nah. You stayed in your crooked ways and you did what you wanted to do. And that's what gets you jacked up. 1 John 5 and 11. 17? 17. 1 John 5. 17.
1 John chapter 5, verse 17.
It's just little quick precepts for brothers and sisters that's new to be able to throw in their book and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Read.
All unrighteousness is sin.
See that? So if righteousness is the keeping of the commandments, then what did it say again? Read.
All unrighteousness is sin.
All unrighteousness is sin. Y'all log them in. Them just some of them basics. Remember, this is back to basics. So some of these simple precepts that you got to have to strengthen yourself. All right. 1 John 5:17. All unrighteousness is sin. Read on.
And there is a sin not unto death.
All right. So let's go. Wisdom of Solomon 9:14.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 14. For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain.
He says the thought of mortal men are miserable. The way we think, the way we move before understanding Christ, understanding who you are, understanding your nationality, understanding what sin is, understanding what righteousness is, those thoughts are horrible. Them the lies you tell yourself. That's the lie you tell yourself for that sin you about to commit. It's more fish in the sea. No, that's what a whoremonger tell itself. That's what a whoremonger tell itself. I'm unhappy. It's meant for me. No, that's what a whore tells herself. I ain't got to put up with this. Yeah. That man ain't beating you upside your head with no pipe. He just don't want to let you go buy no new shoes this week. But in your mind, you feel like I can do better. What Tyler Perry tell you can do bad by yourself? All that kind of stuff. Yeah, those are those horrible thoughts that we have. Those are those horrible ideas that's in our mind. Read it again.
For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain.
He said the things that we do, they are not stable at all. There's no stability in lying to have a roster. You got a roster of 5 girls, you got a lot of all of them. So you a liar and a whoremonger. I'm just speaking about stuff that I know men deal with. I don't know what stuff women deal with, all the time. But I know they lie too. I seen Maury. I've seen a whole lot of those. You are not the fathers. She'd be like, it is yours. It is yours. You the only person I slept with. You not the father. It might be somebody else. Damn it. Make a nigga break dance. He be so happy that baby don't be his. Nigga be like, oh. Read on.
For the corruptible body presseth down the soul.
He said, our corruptible body. This flesh, it crushes the right stuff that I done told these brothers in here. Sin talks so loud. So this is a little tidbit for y'all. When y'all get ready and y'all in the midst of something, sin is the loud one. It's the loud one. Righteousness is like, no, just be modest. You be like, sin be like, man, you bought these clothes. You be like, yeah, I did buy these clothes. Ain't nothing wrong with this. Ain't nothing. They just mad you got a good shape. Yeah, they just mad I got a good shape. And righteousness be like, the soul be like, this is a little tight, kind of tight. I mean, I wouldn't wear that if I was you. You're not trying to bring any modesty to yourself. They just jealous. These hoes be hating. They think just because they in the truth. Yeah. That's how sin talk. Yeah, you ain't got to shake your head, but yeah, I know. Trust me. But we have to remember the Lord said that our devices are uncertain. Read it again.
For the corruptible body presseth down the soul,
Uh-huh.
and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things.
See that? I just trying to tell you. He said that mind, you thinking about so much and trying to find a way, because you'd be surprised. And it don't seem like we saying it like out loud. But bro, we be really fighting and trying to justify that sin sometimes. You be trying to find a way to do it, or you feel stupid after you do it, but then you be like, in the midst of doing it, you be like, yeah. I mean, it ain't number one cigarette. I mean, I cut back already. I mean, shoot, you think I just pulled a quick cold turkey? I've been doing it for 20 years. Yeah. Yeah, that's your mind musing, thinking on all this other stuff. What did it say? The earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth among many things, pondering and playing and creating. That's what a muse do. A muse creates. Y'all ever heard of a muse before? Give me the definition of a muse. You know, like, you never seen like somebody like like one of them old movies, and they be like, yeah, she was my muse. Like he got all of his creativity from dealing with this one certain thing. Let me see that. What that is.
Muse. Want the second definition?
I want the second one.
A person or personified force who is the source of inspiration for a creative artist.
So the Lord said that your mind is just creating stuff. Your flesh is just creating stuff in your mind. It's just creating all kind of foolishness. That's why the Lord said we sought out many wicked inventions. We just sit there and bro, it's somebody right now thinking of something evil to do. Like Clarence. He sat there and he thought about it. He said, I could make some tricks too. Little light bulb popped up over his head. That was that. That was it. That was his mind musing, coming up with stuff. That's how your mind do. Wise to do evil. How you think a nigga came up with crack? Well, the white man came up with crack, but a nigga found a way to bag it up and sell it. Niggas made crack houses. The white man ain't do that. He was like, damn, nigga smart. You know how to get it out in droves. But our mind thinks of evil, and it's constantly thinking of evil. It's constantly doing those things. All right, Joel 14:4.
Job chapter 14, verse 4.
Read.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
Mm-hmm.
Not one.
Not one. You can't do it yourself. The Lord say, who can do that? Who can break a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Ecclesiastes 7:13. Ecclesiastes 7:13.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Consider the work of God,
Mm-hmm.
for who can make that straight, which he have made crooked?
He said, consider the work of God. Who can? So he asked it at two different places. Who could take a clean thing and make a unclean thing and make it clean? He just said, consider the works of God. Who can take something and make it straight what the Lord made crooked? You can't do it. You can't do it on your own. You can sit there all you want to and say, I'm a good woman. You know you lied. You know that was somebody else's man when you met him. I'm a good woman. I take care of my husband. But that was her husband first. I take care of my community. I buy turkeys. I give frozen turkeys on Thanksgiving. It take a whole 48 hours for that turkey to throw out. Then you got your people celebrating wickedness, and you got the turkey money selling dope. I take care of my community. Gave all the little kids book bags and pencils with dope money. But that's how we think. We think that that's a good man. If you anywhere in the hood, nigga be like, hey, bro, I take care of my kids. You sell pills. Nigga, you sell fentanyl. You break in other people's houses. And then you buy your kids clothes after you done robbed somebody else's TV and sold that to the pawn shop. No, you cannot make that crooked thing straight. You cannot justify you take care of your kids, but you got your kids from another woman's husband. The scripture say have your own husband. You take care of your kids selling, never mind. You know what they selling. They justified. Nigga come through. Let me hold a little something. I left $40 on the nightstand. She a good woman because she take care of her kids with $40. You know how she got them $40. But I'm just saying, we try to make it and we try to justify it. We do those things. But the Lord said you can't do that. John 6:63. But who can do it? That's why I say consider the works of the Lord. Who can do it? Read. John chapter 6, verse 63.
Yes, sir. John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth.
What do quickeneth mean? Who know? James.
Make alive.
Make alive or change. Read.
The flesh profiteth nothing.
Your flesh, you can't do it. The spirit changes or makes you alive. Your flesh can't do it. Your flesh can't make a crooked thing straight. It takes the spirit of the Lord to do that. Read.
The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
Right. These are the things that's going to change you. The laws of God, the ordinances, the statutes rather, the little minute things, the smart sayings in the Proverbs and Ecclesiastes that guide us on how to perform certain things. These are the things that's gonna change you. When the Lord say a slothful man is counted as a dunghill, you will start to think about whether you want to be a piece of doo-doo. You're like, well, you know what? I don't want to be doo-doo. And I found out that slothful means lazy. Then guess what? You start to realize, like, well, let me do a little more work. That's the spirit of the Lord changing you. That's not you changing you. That's not you changing you from a slothful man. That's you saying, consider the ant, thou sluggard. Maybe I should prepare better for the Sabbath. Maybe I should get my gas Friday. And guess what? If Friday too late, because I know I get home, I'm going to get my gas Thursday. Now you're changing. You know what? Let me wear my fringes every day. And let me look upon them when I get ready to sin. You know what? Now I'm changing because guess what? I've sinned less this week. I didn't smoke that one cigarette. I had a whole pack. I didn't even smoke them. But I was mad. I wasted my $10. Why? Because every time I got ready to smoke a cigarette, I put my hand on my fringes and I thought about it. And I say, Lord, I'm trying to change. The spirit, read it again.
It is the spirit that quickeneth.
Mm-hmm.
The flesh profiteth nothing.
Your flesh, you can't do it. You are not strong enough to do this on your own. The Lord didn't set it up that way. And that's what he told Paul. When Paul said, I sought this thing thrice to remove it from me, the Lord said, nah, my grace is sufficient. Get that from me. Because our flesh, like, if we could change it ourselves, then we would have no need for Christ. You would actually boast on yourself. I did this. Like, nigga, I quit smoking crack. Like, nah, nigga, you wasn't that strong. You really wasn't that strong. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Read.
2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7.
Read.
And lest I should be exalted above measure.
He said, unless I should get unnecessary accolades, or I should be worshipped. Let's just use a simple word. Lest I should be worshipped, exalted above. Read it again.
And lest I should be exalted above measure through
He said, unless I should be exalted above measure. Read.
through the abundance of the revelations.
Mm-hmm.
There was given to me a thorn in the flesh.
He said, so for everything that I knew, I would have been worshipped. For all of the helping that I did with the other brothers and the believers, I would have been worshipped for the revelation, the knowledge of Christ that I had. Everything that Christ revealed to me, I would have been worshipped. Above measure was mean more than I should have been because I ain't do nothing. Read.
The messenger of Satan to buffet me.
He said, but the Lord left something. He left the devil right there and say, nah, I gotta keep something on you. I gotta keep something on you. You know, yeah, you're a good one, but I gotta keep something on you to humble you down. Read.
Lest I should be exalted above measure.
Read.
For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee.
See that? He said, he had to ask the Lord to take it 3 times. Like, nah. Because if the Lord allowed us to do all of these things on our own without him, we would be exalted above measure. Hell, we would exalt ourselves above measure. I did this. Look what I did. Fix myself. I'm a self-made man. Who gonna tell me what to do? Now you really can't be corrected in nothing. Now you really won't be able to be buffeted when you're in the fall. Nothing. So the Lord had to, nah, you can't make it straight. I make it straight. My word make it straight. My spirit make it straight. You understand? You got it? All right, let's look at an example. 1 Samuel 10:6. And I mean, it's not completely, like, oh, he didn't correct himself, but it's showing that the Spirit of God is what makes us different. It's the thing that changes us. And when we become to get here and begin to keep these commandments, then we begin to be different. Read 1 Samuel 10:6.
1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6.
Read.
And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shalt be turned into another man.
So this is when Saul was first anointed as king of Israel. Samuel told him, he said, when the Lord bring the Spirit on you, the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. When that Spirit will come on you, now you're going to be changed into another man. That's the same thing with us. When we begin to apply these words, when we begin to apply these commandments, these statutes, now we begin to be changed into another man and another woman. You realize, like, dang, I don't quite look the same in myself. When you look and realize your lips ain't as black from smoking all the time. Or you stand a little taller, or you feel, a little more confident in your speech because you're not trembling with fear from, dealing with grown men. When you have to answer the men up here and you can speak confidently. You changed into another man. You've changed from a little boy into a man. When you can take correction as a sister, when somebody says something to you and you not take it personal. And you can look and say, you know what, she might have been right about that. You changed into another woman. And that's the Spirit of the Lord did that. That's not you. It's not nothing that you did except follow what the Lord said to do. All right. Romans chapter 7, 14.
Romans chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under flesh.
So that's what we were talking about. When you begin to keep those commandments, those are the spiritual things. Those are the words that he was speaking unto you that was spirit and life. Keep these commandments. Learn how to love your brother. Learn how to love your sister. Learn how to put away your evil doings. Learn how to control your mind. Learn how to control your thoughts. Learn how to control your mouth. Apply these things. Honor your father. Honor your mother. Apply these things that you change. After a while, after you done been honoring your father and mother, you see one of these little kids that he'll be bearing baby out. Better be glad you got a mama in this damn truth and you running around here talking about what you ain't finna do. Yeah, you be wishing you be like me, like, damn, I wish my sisters and my mama would listen. I feel like they asking to die. But guess what? Hell, I'm changed from that too. Because at one time, it might have been like, you know what, man, I can't just leave my people out there. Sometimes you're like, man, I done changed. I mean, I love you, but I can't die for you. So Noah, Job, and Daniel was in it. You can't say nobody but they said, I can't save you, mama. I hope you get yourself together. You see what I'm saying? But we know that the law is spiritual. Read it again.
For we know that the law is spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
but I am carnal, sold under sin.
Right. Our flesh is evil. It is evil. So from jump, we'll watch Clarence and be like, how could he do that? He walking Jesus right there. That man thinking about money and a girl. That man was thinking about money and a girl. That's what I was thinking about. Money and a girl. And for 90%, 99% of men, not men that like men, I'm talking about men, they thinking about money and a girl. That's what they think about. Because I got to have some money to get the girl, and I need some money because I got to live. That's what we thinking about. That's what our mind was on. That's what his mind was on. Well, that's because we carnal. We carnal as hell without God commandments. We evil as hell without God commandments. We just like Clarence without God commandments. Looking for a way to come up. Looking for a way to get over. And trying to my best to get what I want so that I'm good. We selfish. You selfish as hell because all you think about is you. You just like him. He didn't care who he had this scam to get what he wanted. Just so happened that as it kept going on, the Lord started changing him. You look around and you start seeing your people need help, and you like, dang, I'm just robbing them. Damn, I feel bad. Why do I feel bad? This was just supposed to be his homework was like, it worked, my nigga, we hit. Yo, we done hit. And now he feeling bad. You feeling bad. Because after a while, you're like, why I'm still doing this, but I'm watching videos? Why I'm going to the Sabbath, but I'm still committing this same secret sin on the low and ain't nobody know but me? But I'm doing it. And you feel a little, you feel like a sucker, then you don't want to come around no more. Just be like, damn, I hope nobody don't find that. I'm going to stop. That's carnal. Sold on the sin. Read it again.
For we know that the law is spiritual,
Uh-huh.
but I am carnal, sold under sin.
Mm-hmm. See, and those are the things that we have to examine when we doing those things. And those are things that we have to know about ourselves when we first start coming into this walk. After you done been here for a while too. It don't stop when you first got here. You're like, oh, now I'm good. Because guess what? When you get here, next thing you know, it's other things that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? I can't tell you everything because I ain't finished dealing with. Like, I can tell you stuff I done conquered. I can't tell you all the stuff I'm dealing with still because they be like, ooh, officer. But there are things that we all have to deal with. We all have the battle ain't over. The battle ain't over till Christ get here. Bishop said something to me this past Sabbath. I was like, oh, God. Oh, Jesus, why you say that? Because he don't be wrong. That thing kind of scary sometimes. He don't be wrong. You just like, oh, God. This is going to suck so bad. But guess what? You got to endure. You got to keep going. And then when it come up, and he go, told you. You be like, dang, you right. You know what I'm saying? You really have to think about those things. And you really have to just be ready because, it's still stuff that you deal with. No matter how much rank you got or how much time and service you had, Time in service, time in gray or whatever. How long you been in the body? You gonna be dealing with something. Somebody new gonna come in here and piss you off. I had to check myself the other day because the sister said she left her phone in the school. I'm way somewhere else. I didn't get my phone, officer. And I had to ask the Lord, I said, Lord, please change my spirit. And then right after, I said, how the hell your emergency become my emergency? You can't be that way. You still a servant. And somebody, they made a simple mistake. They left their phone in the school. And now I don't get to have an attitude because they need it. I can't get around and be holding a grudge and ready to, you know what I'm saying? Dumbass women always leaving stuff. Get on my damn nerves. I'm trying to have a drink. I had to get up and leave from what I was doing. Come to the school. I was like, I ain't even waiting on it. I'm just going to get the phone myself. And I couldn't find it. And the Lord humbled me real quick because I had to call. It was like, sis, where you say you left the phone at? And I promise you, I had looked exactly where she said she left it, but I could not see it. Because I was too busy being carnal, worried about only me. Only thinking about what I have to deal with myself. As soon as she told me what it was, I said, ain't no way this phone been right here this whole time. I know I looked here twice. I looked here twice before I called you in this spot. Couldn't see it. Why? Because I had so much, ready to be mad and wanting to be frustrated because I had to do something that I didn't want to do for somebody else. Right? But this is some of the stuff that we have to deal with. Anyway, second Esdras, chapter 7, 54. Don't laugh at me. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. I'm really trying. It get rough some days. Sometimes niggas just want to be a nigga and be lazy and don't do nothing. Like, I just want to be a nigga today. I don't want to do nothing right. I want to lay in the bed. I would play the game if I could. And then before you know it, as soon as you start thinking like that, a brother call you. You know what? Hey, officer, so what you know what? You're right, Jesus. Let me just, let me get up and stop being a nigga. You gave me 15 minutes of nigga time. You let me sit here on, I watched part of the little show that I wanted to see. That's what I got for the day. Then I take that. You quit being a nigga. Second Esdras 7:54.
Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars.
So he said that we done been walking in this world. Because guess what? We come in. We watched the videos. We saw street teaching. Then we start coming in. After a while, we realized we walking around in this horrible world, but we've been refraining ourselves. For a time at least, right? You're like, guess what? All right, I stopped doing all of those other things. That's what he said. Our faces that use abstinence have shown. You know what? We feeling bright. We feeling a little better about ourselves because we have refrained ourselves from our appetites. You're like, you know what? All right, okay. I might be getting the hang of this righteous thing. Okay. Keeping the commandments ain't hard. I look forward to the Sabbath day now. I told brothers before, I said I used to make $400 cash or more every Sabbath. Man, after about a month, and I realized, man, I'm like, bro, I'm missing some money. Like, why my money so low? Oh, yeah, that was $1,400, $1,500 every month extra that you. Oh. But I began to feel better because I said, okay, but I'm keeping God's commandment. But the first thing that entered my mind was after a couple of months, well, why my money look so crazy? And then you realize you wasn't working on the Sabbath no more. Oh. But the work that I gained afterwards became more consistent, and I was able to keep God's commandments. He said that. Read that part again. The faces abstinence.
And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars.
Right. So now, guess what? Now I lost $1,300, $1,200 a month extra that I had. but I've used abstinence in from working. That thing feel good when you know you keeping God's commandments. It feel good, and after a while, you don't miss it no more. And before you know it, everything met, and you don't even really like, dang. But I feel better knowing, because every Sabbath you work, you thinking about it. And the more you do it, you just become more and more numb to keeping God's commandments. So guess what? You just stop coming altogether. You just stop keeping the Sabbath altogether. You're like, well, hell, I'm working. I might as well go ahead and cook this bacon sandwich. Make me a triple baconator in this bit. Yeah, I ain't doing nothing else. I ain't doing nothing else, God say. But I'm Israel, though. I know my nationality. Nah, he said your face gonna shine above everything. Read it again.
And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness.
Nigga face. Oh, you got black face. Show a black face. Y'all remember that movie, Them? That's that show? What you gonna do? That's how you look when you keep breaking the commandments. And that be what that little devil say. You get face, he got the commandment in one hand. What you gonna do? I want the one from Them. That nigga was a special. Yeah, him. That one in the top, yeah, him. Yeah, that one. But that nigga, ooh, yeah, he look like Spawn. He's sitting there every time. He said, that's what your face look like. Read it again.
And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness.
Look at that's a black, dark, sinful face. What you gonna do? That's how you face with sin every day. And the more you do it, the more he just sit there and tap dance and entice you with it. Every time. Soon as that sin pop up and you think about doing it, you can just imagine this little nigga in your room. What you gonna do? That's how I feel. That thing ugly. Right? Give us Sirach chapter 4, verse 17. Damn, I'm finna say that every time now when I see some sin. What you gonna do? You gonna be thinking about it too. When you get ready to do some evil. What you gonna do? Sirach chapter 4, verse 17.
Sirach chapter 4, verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him.
That's wisdom. For a while, wisdom gonna, ooh, look at it. See, look, play it. Look, that's that's him. Well, wait till he gonna say it. What you gonna do? Bruh. That's how you look. This how you is when you in your room. Or you in your car getting ready to go do something evil. Damn. Yeah. It's a black show. You know they don't care. They only care about them white folks, though. Go for it. Yep.
And now, I can cogitate more proper like.
Cogitate.
What you gonna do?
See that? That's sin, boy.
What
That
you
nigga hell.
gonna do?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Dang.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
All right. See that? Look, that's how you be looking.
What you gonna do?
I'm getting scared. That's hell. That is horrible. That's a horrible thought. But guess what? You might need a thought like that in your head when evil start coming around. It's that little blackface, Spawn, evil blackface nigga just sitting there tap dancing in the room with you. What you gonna do? Yeah. He said, that's horrible. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about it either. All right. So he said that the Spirit will walk with us by crooked ways. Read Sirach again, and then we're going back to second address.
Yes, sir. Sirach chapter 4, verse 17. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways.
So that means when you first get here, the Lord will let the Spirit dwell with you to help get you straight, to help get your mind together, to let you see what you should be doing. That's your crookedness. Remember, the Lord is the only one who can make a crooked thing straight. So while you being crooked, he'll let wisdom ride with you. Say, this is how you keep the Sabbath. Put the porno away. Stop stealing. You know that brother dropped that $4 on the ground and you going to just step on it. You a dirty nigga. Well, you like, you know what? I'm going to give you this chance right here. And he going to, wisdom will let some money, the Satan will drop some more money by you. This time you'll have wisdom on you. And the nigga be sitting there holding the money in his hand. What he going to say? What you gonna do? Damn. You leave it right there. You pick it up, bring it to the leadership table. Hey, somebody dropped their money on the floor. He mad at you back there. He mad at nigga. Should have kept that money. You know you needed gas to get back to Hiram, Georgia. Wherever here you driving from. $20 would have got you there. Sucker. Anyway, read on.
And bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him, and torment him with her discipline.
That's right. Because after a while, you should start to feel bad in the midst of your sin, in the midst of your folly. That's torment when you know you done did something. You, man, I'm tired of feeling like this. I refuse to tell this sister again that I refuse to tell this brother I'm in the midst of this again. I'm tired of it. Every day I got a reason why I had to break the Sabbath. Every reason I got a reason why I couldn't do this or why I was doing that. I don't even know why I lied. I'm tired of it. It'll torment you with that. You'll be tormented. That's the discipline of wisdom, to just be on you and be like, look, man, get it together. Get it together. I say that's how Clarence was looking after a while. When he started looking and seeing what he was doing to his people, guess what? That's the same way you be. That's the same way you be when you be watching videos online, but you know you ain't came to the school. When you know you trying to teach people and they looking at you like, nigga, you don't shut your ass up. I know I just seen your ass eating a pepperoni pizza. You talking about something. We ain't supposed to eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster. Nigga. Oh, so it's the ones you like, huh? All right, go back to that second address, 7. All right, we about to hurry up. It's almost 10 o'clock. I got a few minutes. Cover scripture. Let's go.
Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness.
Jump to 57.
Verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said.
He said, this is the fight that you got to fight. If you get overcome by that sin, if you let it overtake you, if you let your carnalness win, you're going to have to suffer for it. You're going to have to suffer for it. Read.
But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say.
He said, but if you beat it, you get to receive the thing that he said. You get glory. You get to get out of here. Can you think about all the things you get if you overcome? You get to beat the hell out of Esau. That's secondary for me. That's like third-dairy. It ain't even second. First one is getting out of here. I get to get out. I get to see a kingdom that no one eyes and ears can even imagine what it looked like. I get to reign with Christ, and then I get to beat the hell out of everybody that has afflicted my people since the beginning of time. He said, if you overcome, you get the victory. You get all of these things. But if you let your evilness overcome you, if you don't adjust yourself, if you don't make those corrections, then you gotta suffer for it. Bro, I'm not taking them kind of chances, bro. Because I don't know what that looked like either. You know, I be trying to imagine, you know, they be having them pictures where they be showing where you be melting and, bro, that thing say worms gonna eat your flesh. Nigga, I can't imagine being dead but not dead and alive at the same time and the worms keep eating me, cuz. And I'm burning up at the same time. It's hot and worms on you. You ever seen maggots in the trash can? And you feel like they crawling on you after you done seen them? Can you imagine the maggot just eating on you and you on fire and the maggot eating on you? And then the righteous Jews walking past you on the way to the Sabbath like, God damn, it's in his eye. It's in his eye. You sit there talking, give me some water. And they like, off to the Sabbath. Nah, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it at all. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But guess what? Guess how we know? So now we here though. Give me Isaiah 30:21. Now we here though. Start at 21.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way.
This was camp videos for a lot of us. Probably everybody in this room saw a YouTube video. I'm going to say 90% saw a YouTube video of the bishops or the captains or somebody in some city. You was like, man, that was the equivalent of this scripture. Read it again.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way. Walk ye in it.
That's what they was telling us. Keep God's commandments. Change. Come to the school. Learn your nationality. All of those things was, this is the way. Walk ye in it. All of us started this way. All of us got here this way. Guess what? Clarence heard it too. He mimicked it. I know it looked evil as hell, but guess what? He was mimicking what he saw Christ doing. He was doing it in evil, but he heard it. Guess what? You saw camp videos. You saw a bishop teaching online. You saw the deacons teaching online. You saw them going overseas, international, teaching our people. Read again.
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way. Walk ye in it.
So while we walk with crooked ways, we heard this to clean up our ways. Stop walking crookedly. Walk this way. Dress modest. Get a head wrap. Put on some fringes. Take off them tight ass pants, brother, and get you some nice fitting clothes. Shave yourself. Clean yourself up. Fix your hair. You are an ambassador of the Lord. Look like one. Act like one. Now you begin to change. Just like Clarence. You saw what happened after he got the money. The nigga got his hair done. Nigga put on the fresh white. He was clean now. Look like a whole different man now. But he was still walking with crooked ways. Guess what? Sometimes that's how we look. But it's better than where we was at. At least now you begin to know what to fix. At least now you know where to go. You know the way that you must walk. You know what you got to do to start to make the inside look like the outside. Because a lot of us, when we get here, the outside look righteous. The inside be on some other job. You find out when brothers get in MOV and stuff like that, you be like, oh, that brother slothful. He don't even come all the time. Or he done been here 15 years, and he like, bro, why you ain't got no purple on? He halfway in, halfway out. He stuck between two opinions. You don't know what he want to do for real, for real. It happens. I'm pretty sure it happened with sisters too. All right? Anyway, Galatians 5:17. We ain't gonna stay on that example too long. We're gonna get through the rest of these scriptures real quick. Got about 10 minutes. Let's go.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 17.
Read.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other.
Right. So our spirit and our flesh are constantly trying to win. Remember, you got to overcome though. So you have to overcome that flesh with the spirit. You have to begin to change. You have to begin to do the right thing. You gotta be like how Clarence was in the end. You gotta become a straight thing. You can't walk around crooked no more and say, well, she walked with us with crooked ways. You can't stay there no more. Because remember, this is the condition of the battle. You have to fight this battle. You have to fight this battle of flesh versus spirit. This is how you overcome by changing with the spirit of the Lord, by keeping his commandments, with your righteousness, applying it and doing it, walking in his ordinances, walking in his laws, walking in his statutes. This is how you're going to do it. This is how you overcome. Read.
So that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law.
So we ain't gonna even go into that part, but we dealing with so that you don't do other things that you would. You have to let the Spirit override the flesh so that you don't do those evil things that you constantly thinking of doing. You stay off the porn sites. You keep your hand out the cookie jar late at night. You know you trying not to be fat no more. You ain't got no discipline. You know you going places you shouldn't be. You on the phone talking to ex-girlfriends, and you know good and well you ain't need to be talking to your baby mama no more. Y'all done said, look, we ain't doing this. I'm keeping these commandments, but she call you talking about something. What you doing? I'm lonely. What you trying to do? You come over here, you want to. We watch something, we get something to eat or something, you know. I don't want you to be by yourself. You know good and damn well. Because you letting your flesh win. You know you can't go back to that woman. Anyway, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation.
Right. So this is the people who you actually are. Whether you know it or not from the beginning, this is you. You are a royal people. And you have to have this in your mind to know that what you're changing into this. You changing from a nigga to a royal people. A nigga man or a nigga woman. You changing from that to royalty. Read.
And royal priesthood and holy nation, a peculiar people.
He said you change into a royal nation, a peculiar, a different kind of people now. You no longer walking in the ways you used to do. You ain't going to the strip club. You ain't in the line before 9 because ladies get in free. Yeah, y'all know y'all was there. I was in the line with you, had to pay. Damn, these women in here free all the time. But you not there no more. Now you changing into something else. Now you in the line out here before 3. Right. Used to be 4-9, now it's 4-3. Yeah, I'm getting in the Sabbath before 3 o'clock. I need me a seat. Not sitting in the metal chair. Metal chairs is for late people. Your butt finna hurt, not mine. I remember when it was only metal chairs. Wasn't none of this cushion and purple. Ooh, y'all so lucky. Anyway, we all got to endure hardness, right? Anyway, read it again.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Right. Are we going all the way to 11?
Yes, sir. Verse 10. Which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God.
Right.
Which had not obtained mercy, but now obtain mercy.
Right. That's so now the Lord been generous to us. We've been changed into this new people now. We've been enduring in this fight now. Now we being changed. Now you're like, dang, I'm royalty now. I'm no longer just nigga Coon Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I ain't a bad bitch no more. I'm a daughter of Sarah. I ain't a real nigga no more. I'm an ambassador of Christ. You understand? Revelation 3 and 5. And then we're going to get on up out of here.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 5.
Read.
He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment.
He say the ones that overcome all of that foolishness, the ones who spirit wins over their flesh, You're going to be clothed in white. Read.
And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life.
So your book at the end, when your book get read, he like, man, I remember in 2023, man, you almost gave it up, boy, but I seen you hit the curve. Like, man, that boy, he really shedded off that nigga spirit, man, and you did all right. I ain't gonna even blot your name out. Come on in. But how do we get in? I'm gonna finish reading that. We're gonna go over a few scriptures. We're gonna go quick though.
But I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels.
Christ said, well, when you overcome, bro, he gonna, can you imagine? Christ said, did my folk Destiny right here, shout, you know what I'm saying? She kept the commandment, you know what I'm saying? Did my folk Jane right here, boy, you should have seen him, boy, yeah. Yeah, I almost thought he was gonna lose it, but he came on through, boy, you feel me? Ain't that right, Roy? Come on up here, boy. You be like, boy, Jesus, boy, I been knowing Jesus, boy. Yo, that my folk, you know what I'm saying? He showed me how to, you know what I'm saying, start doing some of that stuff I was doing. The angel be like, yo, that was so. He like, yeah, I used to write on Roy. That was my fault, you know what I'm saying? I seen, but I was there, I seen everything. Me and him was tight. Like, yo, that's how I imagine what's going on in my. Cause I can't imagine what angel do. I just can only imagine what you know what I'm saying? You're like, wow, man, the angel, them boy cool as hell. But I met with the little angel. Yeah, that's my boy Ariel right there. But yeah, I remember my boy Raphael. You know him. What's up, boy? Hell yeah, but I ain't killed nobody yet. About to go knock off a couple of Idumeans, you know what I'm saying? Fall through though, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna knock out about 800,000 on by a little light work for the day. Holla at me. You know, I mean, that's how, in my mind, that's how it go. Anyway, Proverbs 4:7. I'm sorry, I ain't got no videos. It just be in my imagination. It was just my imagination running away with me. Proverbs 4:7.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7.
Read.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, get wisdom.
He said, why are we doing this? The way you're going to overcome, you have to get wisdom. You have to get wisdom to overcome. You cannot do this off of talent. You can't do this off of talent, bro. You ain't going to be like the LeBron who don't never have to practice or nothing like that. You just come in the game. Like LeBron, the only 6'8" bow-legged nigga I had ever seen in my life. I was like, surely they don't make them in real life. But, you know, it's just kind of stuff I was like, bro, what? How they make him like that? You know, that's just genetics. He just made that way. But then you have to have some people that come and they have to work very hard. They have to work very hard to put those things away. Read it again.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Read it.
Therefore, get wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And with all thy getting, get understanding.
That's how he said, if wisdom is the keeping of the commandments, it's the principal thing that you got to have, because knowledge is knowing, wisdom is applying. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Learn how to do it. Learn how to apply it. And then perform it so that you could overcome. Sirach 19:20.
Sirach chapter 19, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And in all wisdom is the performance of the law.
Oh, y'all thought I just made that up when I said wisdom is actually doing it. No, all wisdom is the performance of the law. The priest's lips, you should seek knowledge at the priest's lips. I mean, you're supposed to learn what you're supposed to do. But wisdom allows you to do it. It allows you to perform it. It's one thing to know to keep the Sabbath. It's another thing to do it. It's one thing to know I'm not supposed to cook. It's another thing to find a way to say, well, it's a microwave, not a fire. You wicked nigga. It's a microwave oven. Got oven in the end of the name. That's wisdom. To know how to perform the things that you're doing. Read it again.
The fear of the Lord is all wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency.
Right. And the knowing of what God wants and knowing of his commandments. This is what you're trying to do. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't just stay running off of pure talent. You can't run off of I ain't never killed a nigga before. I ain't killed no niggas and I ain't raped nobody, so I'm good. No, you got to learn how to perform some of this other stuff. You got to learn how to perform charity, because charity covered a multitude of sin. Get what? You gonna knock out. You got to learn how to give alms and quit being stingy. I ain't got but $3,000 in my account. You mean tell me you want 40? God damn, what you want from me? What I'm for to live? Like, you stingy. You just sit around here and eat up every week. Don't put nothing in the pot. Don't help keep the lights on. And you got to learn how to perform that thing. You got to learn how to stop being a niggard at the table with your hand out. You got to learn that thing. You got to learn how to give to other people. You got to learn how to look out for somebody else. You got to learn how to perform these things. All right? James 1:22.
James chapter 1, verse 23.
22.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
He says, so you can't just sit around and listen. You actually have to do these things. Because remember, we're trying to overcome now. Now we're on our way to being a straight thing. Now we're on our way to having our name not blotted out. We want our book to be read aloud and be professed before the Lord, the Most High God, and the angels. He said, you can't hear only. You got to do it. You can't just be a hearer. Because if you are a hearer only, you lying to yourself, thinking you doing something right. Read on.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened to a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
He said, you like a person, if you only hear it, you could look at yourself in the mirror, you turn around, you forget what you look like. That's what only hearing do. You can't even remember what you look like. You forgot just that fast. I looked at myself, you got a big old mole under your eye, and you get there, somebody say, what that is under your eye? You like, what? It's a mole, nigga. It been there your whole life. But you done forgot, because you're not performing anything. You're not doing anything. You're forgetful at only hearing. That's why the Christian, but faith come by hearing. Yeah, and salvation come by doing. Yeah, you talking about. Anyway, all right. I don't know, they're going to get tired of me with this anyways. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. I remember this is back to the basics, so it's just basic. Simple stuff that we got to learn. Read.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
This is how we're gonna move. Because once we get wisdom, now you got to have faith that you're doing it is going to get you where you're trying to go to. Because guess what? You can't see the kingdom. Remember when I said I can't imagine what a kingdom that the Lord said, eyes have not seen and ears ain't heard what I got for those that love me. So guess what I got to have to keep these commandments? I got to have faith. I got to have faith. There's going to be a big black man with big black feet, and he going to stomp niggas, and his clothes going to be red. I want to see that. I got to have faith that I won't keep these commandments so I don't get stomped, but I get to see niggas get stomped. Like, I ain't never seen a nigga get stepped on and bust open before. I want to see it. I want to see it. I got to have faith to keep keeping these commandments so that I can see it. And also, I got to keep these commandments because I want to be better. And I have to have faith that if the Lord say, my word is the thing that straightens you up, and I'm like, I want to be a straight guy. Like, I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to be upstanding to the Lord. I don't just want to always be a shiesty nigga that's, you know what I'm saying, looking for, nah, nigga, I'm tired of that. I don't want to be that nigga no more. So I have to have faith when I'm keeping these commandments to be able to perform these things. Hebrews 12:1.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we are all compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us.
So now we look, he said, you are surrounded with our forefathers watching us, angels watching, Christ watching, the Most High God, eyes 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Read it again from the top.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us.
So he said, let us start putting this stuff down. They watching you. They writing it in a book. Not only that, you got brothers and sisters watching you. You got young men watching you, young sisters watching you. They're looking to see how is he moving, how is she moving. Are they actions lining up with what they saying? Let's lay away the heaviness and the sin that's weighing us down. Put that stuff away because we're trying to be better. Read.
And let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith.
Remember, he said, we looking at Christ while we running this race. I'm trying to get there. I gotta get there, because if I don't get there, I'm going to get mud. I'm finna get wine pressed. Not finna get wine pressed out here. Not finna do it, read.
Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame.
He said, but he endured all of this pain so you won't have to get wine pressed if you overcome. If you decide to stay a nigga, you're getting stomped out. You're going to be a stain on a garment, my nigga. A stain on a garment, bro? Like, that's what my end is? Nah, I ain't going out like that. But you got to have faith to do it. You got to look towards Christ to get there. That's the race you running. This the mark. I got to get there. Okay, let me get there. Let me put away this sin. Let me put away this evil. Let me get there. That's where I'm trying to go. Read.
And is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Verse 3. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself.
He says, so think about the man that the people they talked about, call him a drunkard, a wine bibber, the devil, Beelzebub. He said, consider that with all he endured. Against him, I ain't even did nothing. Nigga, I gave y'all wine at the feast. Ain't nobody said thank you. They like, damn, this wine good as hell. That nigga be lying. He a drunk. Nigga, you a drunk. You drunk it too. That's just how it go in my mind. I'm sorry. I got a vivid imagination. Sorry. But that's how I see. Read.
Lest ye be weary and faint in your minds.
So that's what he said, though. He said, and if you don't think about what Christ endured for you, endured what he went through, and he ain't did nothing, you can easily just get tired of doing this. Because you're not looking to the author of your faith, the author and the finisher. You only worried about, man, I got to get up at 8 o'clock again. Why I'm the only one got to be here this early? Shout out to Officer Zed. He always here. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Because that man, that might be how he looked to his finish. That might be it. It's plenty brothers that's always here. Plenty sisters that's here on Tuesday. Because guess what? They might need to be here because they like, but I need to be here because if I'm at the house too many a day, I was already home Monday and Wednesday, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I need to be where some scriptures at because get real. Me and my baby, we get. Never mind, Uncle Elroy. I'm just messing with y'all. All right, so that's how you can't get weary in this. Your mind can get weary, you can get tired, and you can faint. And fainting is bad. Fainting is you done gave up. You don't want to do that. All right. 2 Timothy 2 and 3. We almost finished. Matter of fact, go to Matthew 14, 24. Let's look at something. We're going to show an example of that. Just a little quick example.
Matthew chapter 14, verse 24. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary.
Right.
And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled,
Right.
saying, "It is a spirit." And they cried out for fear.
So they saw Christ walking on the water, and they were like, "Oh, it's a ghost out there." They walking with Christ, and they still wasn't all the way. You know what I'm saying? Got rid of all that stuff in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Well, we was at 24. Jump down to 28.
Verse 28. And Peter answered him and said,
Matter of fact, read 27.
verse 27, but straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, "Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid."
That's how when we looking for our faith, when we looking and we trying to keep these commandments, we have to look at Christ and look in that direction and hear, be of good cheer. It's, you on the right path. Like, you have to think like that. I'm keeping these commandments. Surely Christ is with me. Surely he is with me if I'm doing what he say do. Read.
And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Come." And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus.
So that's us in the beginning when we first believe it. Jesus say, "Come on, I'm out here. I made it through. I made it to the school. Got my fringes. About to give it MOV." Read.
But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid.
Oh, but it start getting hard now. Ooh, run low on gas. Ooh, I'm gonna get there this week. Ooh, people want me to work all week. I gotta get up early. Ooh, I could just stay home. Ooh, Jesus, I ain't had a husband in 7 years. I'm getting sleepy sitting here in the front. Ooh, Jesus, what I'm supposed to do? Read.
And beginning to sink,
Oh, read.
he cried, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, "O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt?"
So we have to think about those kind of things. Even the disciples, and they walked with Christ, they had doubt in them. So guess what? It's going to be natural that you have some, but you can't let those things weary you to the point that you start to drown. You can't do that because you're changing. You're moving in another direction. You're becoming a better person. You're becoming a straight thing. You're not staying in those crooked, doubtful ways no more. All right? 2 Timothy 2 and 3. We're going to read quick.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ.
So he said you got to endure some of this uncertainty. You're going to have to endure some probably getting talked about your family and people talking about, oh, the nigga in a cold and, oh, she thinks she better than this and, oh, she's stupid and you dumb as hell. Them folk, you ain't no Israelites. Y'all ain't the Jews. He said endure hardness. You're going to make it through all that. 2 Esdras 14 and 14.
Second Esdras chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Mm-hmm.
Put off now the weak nature.
Because remember, these are the steps that we're going to have to take to overcome. You're going to have to start putting off the thoughts of what people saying about where you at. You're going to have to put off the weak nature, your old way of being, your old way of thoughts. You got to put those things away now. Now you got to begin to think, how do I look to Christ? How do I keep this sin low? Dang, I need to reach out for counsel. I need to make sure I got me a sister or a brother that I can speak to help me through some of these things. Let me make sure that I'm making sure I'm being useful to the Lord, being helpful in the body. Quit worrying about my time only. Only thing I got to do, what's me? What about me? What I got to do? You had time to do that. Don't nothing in this body take up that much time. What is it, 2 hours? 8 to 10? What you was finna do anyway? Watch TV? You finna watch TV for 2 hours. Damn, I'm missing my show. All right, so put away those things. He say put off the weak nature. Let's look at something. Matthew 26, verse 33.
Matthew chapter 26, verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended.
So this was Peter. Peter was Peter was the chief apostle. But guess what? Peter still had stuff in him that he had to get rid of. He didn't get rid of it till later, but this right here is just an example that, guess what? You might not get rid of all of it right now, but you have to be working towards it. Read.
Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
Right. So the Lord had to tell Peter, he's like, big as you talking right now. Because, you know, some of us talk, I ain't never going to leave the truth. I'm IUIC, Jack. Okay. Okay. I ain't never going back. Okay. Christ had to tell Peter, look, before it's all over with, you're going to deny me thrice. He's like, you know, he thinking in his head, I would never do that, God. Read.
Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee.
You see they? I should, they should get me too. I never deny you. Read.
Likewise also said all the disciples.
That's what everybody else said, right? Everybody else said, you know, we us too. We ain't gonna deny you. Jump down to verse 69.
Verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee.
So now they sitting there watching Christ get tried. This is going into, you got to put off that weak nature. This was Peter's weak nature. He was a doubtful guy. He doubted in the water. He get right here. You know, he still had that thing in him. And some of us, we still got that thing in us. Remember, Paul had to sought the Lord 3 times for his. The Lord said, no, I'm straight. You might have doubt in you that you always have to keep praying about so that you can stay in this truth. Read.
But he denied before them all, saying,
look, he just told them, I should die with you too. And then they were like, you was with him. He was like, no, I wasn't, nigga, shut up. Bitch, you lying. In my head, that's what he said. He said it was a damsel. Read it again.
But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest.
See that? He told her, you lying. I don't know what you're talking about. You was with him. No, you know I wasn't. I don't know what the hell you talking about. I wasn't with nobody. At least that's how I feel in my brain. I'm sorry, read.
And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, this fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again, he denied with an oath.
Now, hell, I went, but on God, I wasn't out there. That man said he did it with an oath. But on God, I wasn't out there with him, but I'm trying to tell you, but on phone them. Nigga, you wow. Read.
I do not know the man.
Damn. Read.
And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee.
They say your mouth telling on you. What he did?
Then began he to curse and to swear.
He was cussing them people like, but who the hell y'all nigga think y'all talking to? Oh, lame man, nigga, I ain't never was over there. But I don't even be with them folk. Them folk like, but what? Surely you was with them. Read.
Saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
Read.
And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly.
So I really like examples of seeing what our forefathers did in the scriptures to let us know that things happen and somebody did it before you did it. And somebody going through stuff at the same time you going through it. But guess what? We are set to overcome. And we have to put away those things. And that was just an example of one of those things. Later, Peter had to still deal with that same kind of doubt when dealing with the northern kingdom. But later he became that which he taught Cornelius, and he taught his family, and he began to teach them brothers in the northern kingdom. He began to do that, you know what I'm saying, and help them. So he had to put that thing away to become what the Lord wanted him to be. You understand what I'm saying? Same way you're going to have to put away those things to be what the Lord wants you to be. Sirach chapter 17, verse 25.
Sirach chapter 17, verse 25. Return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less.
That's what the Lord say. You go before the Lord, man, y'all pray about them things. The Lord say some of this stuff ain't going to go away but by prayer and fasting. But he said, go before the Lord, pray for that thing, and offend less. This is how we overcome. This is how we change. This is how we begin to, or not even begin, but this is how we turn from how Clarence was in the beginning, how you was in the beginning, to at the end, you being rewarded by the Most High God in Christ. For you having your name read out amongst the righteous and the angels. For you being able to overcome and getting all the things that he say. Because remember, that's the goal. That is the goal. The goal is not to look good here in front of man. The goal is to be rewarded by Christ through enduring this hardness and overcoming our sins and overcoming this flesh. Last scripture, Luke chapter 22, verse 32.
Luke chapter 22, verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not.
So this is Christ. Christ saying, I had to pray for y'all. He said, I'm praying. I'm praying for all of y'all. He praying for the disciples, but I like to think, hey, he praying for me too. Read.
And when thou art converted.
When we finally start to get this thing right, and we believe wholeheartedly, and we applying the things that we learn, and we applying the things that we read,
strengthen thy brethren.
Once we converted, then guess what? Now we help each other to reach for the same thing. All right? And with that, we say shalom.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word